Okay, boys, we're here to another episode of Champs Corner, the second episode. So this episode is all about the wonder kid himself, Sorba Thomas, the pace pin-up. Here he is. We got him on to talk about obviously his journey through the pace, starting off at pace, and obviously as all of you know now, he's now a championship level player. So amazing move for you, mate, up to Huddersfield. And we're just going to touch on taking it way back to obviously where it all started for you, mate, through the journey, through the pace setup. And obviously the gaffer and Cam are going to chip in about their memories of you through the process, and obviously playing a part in you getting a championship move, mate. So we'll start right at the beginning. I think it was 2015 that you joined, mate, right?
Yep, that's right.
So cast your mind back to tell me about, like, first of all, the like your memories of what led you to make that decision. So obviously, where were you? Give everyone a bit of a picture of sort of like the decisions that were going on in your life at the minute and what led you to obviously choose a pace academy.
Yeah, well, when I was obviously younger, I was at West Ham and obviously playing through that system, and then obviously didn't get a scholarship. And obviously a few boys from the area that I live in went to Boreham. So they kind of like said, look, you come Boreham, you know what I mean, you might be able to play in the first team and stuff like that. So but obviously back there, obviously my dad was massive with education. He goes, oh, would you be able to do education, stuff like that? And they were like, yeah. So then they kind of like, they got my dad on side, they got the rest of the family on side. So it was like, yeah, coming to Boreham then was a no-brainer. Then I remember coming pre-season, meeting Cam. I don't think he liked me at the start. I think because to be fair, I came in all my my England gear, so I felt I was kind of showing off, you know. So at the start, it was one of the ones where like there was a lot of people in the area that played for like that went to Boreham, and then it was easy from there. The way they persuaded me, it was easy from then to go there.
Gaffer and Cam, then, like obviously at the start when he first joined, you got any first memories, obviously, of him as a player and person? But first of all, sort of person walking through the door. You got any early memories of Sorbs when he first turned up through the door?
My first are of a very obviously he came along with his sidekick, Bradley Satch. They both come through the door as England futsal players and a little bit chazzy, if I'm honest. I remember doing little small side games, and Sorba, Bradley would come over and stand and talk, and Sorba would just try to run around everybody. They were very very confident lads. They knew what they wanted. Sorba particularly had that. He had that about him. You could tell that he was very determined from day one. Like I said, he grafted because he studied over at Boreham Wood, but made a journey every day across to our alternative site to come and train. I think he wanted to want to train with Bradley, if I'm honest, but to come and train in front of me. At the time I was the elite manager, and he knew I was the one to impress. So that showed a little bit of savvy about him, that he knew the sort of the run of how to try and progress at the club. And he was single-minded from day one. He only wanted to go one way at the club, and he was patient with his journey. But my first short memories of him being a bit of a chazzy barking boy. We've got a few barking boys on the programme, and they're not shy, definitely not shy, and Saul was definitely one of them.
When he turned up with Bradley Satch, did you think he was his dad? Because he looks about.
Yeah, no, he did. Brad was a lot more mature than Saul.
He's still to this day the youngest guy with the oldest face I've ever seen. He looked literally 40 years old in the face, and he had an 18-year-old's body. Weird.
He was. They were very. I always thought they were very opposite.
I can imagine those two though bouncing, like obviously Sorbs. I assume you were still as you were as I've known you, like larger than life, backing yourself in situations, coming through the door, thinking, yeah, you know, I can imagine confidence levels even on day one were through the roof. And Bradley was sort of similar character. So you two as a double act, I can imagine probably a bit of a handful.
I got to be honest. If he was chocolate, he'd eat himself. That's Sorba. Like, listen, I adore you, Sorbs. You've come a long way, mate. But I remember the first interaction with you was, what are them lot doing in the team? I'm better than them lot. Why are they there? I'm better than them lot. And I've got to be honest, you were cute. You were bright because you had to go and impress the main man in Cameron, because he was the man that was running the under-18s, under-19s at the time. And if you was over at our site, I think it was with like Matty Witchlow and all that mob, Ches Isaac potentially, that you weren't going to get under his eye. So that was a clever move for you to go over to OE's. I remember the first one where you used to stand on the Astro and you'd wait there and I'd go, "You right, Sorbs? Yeah, I'm going to train. I'm going to be there." I was like, "Good, keep doing what you're doing, hearing good things." And I was thinking, look, I've heard you got great ability, turn it on and off. But yeah, your confidence could be a fine line between that and arrogance, mate, in my first impressions of you, pal. But yeah, no, you've done so well to get to the elite level under Cameron. And like I said, like Pill and put you and Bradley Satch, you weren't 5 yards away from each other. So he's probably in your hotel room now.
He's told me he's holding the camera. So take it on a little bit then. After you joined, what are your memories about the early few months being in the academy system, like working it out, obviously working to the level that you wanted to get to, as Gaffer was saying then, obviously working, you can see the first team training on the same facility, or hopefully probably already thinking about, okay, there's a bit of a path for me. But like, what were the first few months like in that academy setup? What are your memories of it?
I remember obviously coming into OEs, and like I remember like coming into the Boreham side to do my lessons, and I remember like seeing like the elite boys, but obviously I was thinking to myself, like, I was seeing boys my age already, and I was thinking, how are you in the elites already? But obviously back then, obviously I thought it was all basically the elites were like the older boys. So when I was seeing like boys my age there already, I was thinking, how are you there already? And obviously then, like the Gaffer said, when I used to watch him, I used to think, I'm better than him. Oh, I'm way better than him. And it was like I knew I was very, very, very confident, cocky. To me, I was the best player at Bournemouth from when I first walked in there. And it was like, obviously playing the games. I remember when I first went there, I thought to myself, yeah, I'm a striker. Then I remember that early days. I remember Woody coming over. I remember Big Junior coming over, and I remember him saying, "You're not a striker." And like, I was devastated. I was like, "What do you mean?" They were like, "You're not a striker." And then I remember one game, you put me out wide. He was like, "That's where you should play. If you want to go anywhere in your career, that's where you should play." And then from then, just become a winger. I remember I had a few run-ins with Woody, who ended up being a teammate years on. I had a few run-ins with, well, a lot of run-ins with Cam and the Gaffer. And it was one of the ones I just didn't really...
Yeah, I was going to get onto that. Well, mate, as Gaffer and Cam were saying, obviously confidence and cockiness, like, try and stamp out a player, especially young players. You turn up and you've got too much to say for yourself. It's sort of, in the football world, that's a little bit like, nah, we'll stamp that out of him straight away. But in your journey, it's been probably one of the things that's pushed you through the levels, and obviously your self-belief, everything else. So then Gaffer, Cam, talking about obviously him ruffling a few feathers and being that way, what sort of like run-ins do you remember having with him down the way, trying to keep him on the straight and narrow, but also not want to take away that like belief that he's got obviously in himself?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know where to start. I've got a whole book of run-ins with me. I'm
glad you said that.
I can run you.
Seriously, I'm with you, mate. We ain't got long enough. This is a 25-minute segment. We'll have to have 3 days.
I said to him, I said,
pick out a couple of favourites.
I've argued more with him than I have with my kids, 100%. More than a 2-year-old.
You really love him.
I remember, yeah. There's a couple ring in my head. We had a quarter-final. This is a bit further on down the time. We had a quarter-final in the National Cup, and we played Dunstable on a Thursday night. And I was quite honest with you, Ben Goodley played in the game. Ben Goodley got done by a little blondie. Sorba knows the game already, and we had Sorba, Brad, Ben Goodley. We had a good side, under 18s as well, going Dunstable. You think, yeah, no, comfortable performance. We got done 3-0. Jason was with me as well, Jason Goodley. So I remember after the game, Jason had my head was gone. So I can't even talk. So Jason was like, "Boys, put your hands up if you like football. Do any of you even like football?" Everyone put their hand up, barring Sorba. So my head's gone now. I'm not sure you're not playing anymore. I've got first years in the team. That's not sort of actual. I mean, so you're not playing. But we had a national quarter final on the week Thursday. So in my head, I'm thinking, I need him, but I can't let him see that I need him. But I need him. So I'm thinking, I remember he was sitting in the conservatory. I was like, how do I approach it? I can't give myself away here. Not myself look weak, but we need him to play to win. So but I knew that Sorba loved football. I knew it. I just knew that if he wanted to play football, no matter what, I could dangle that carrot in a way where I wasn't giving myself away, but he wants to play. So obviously, the conversation happened, and he come back and play. And probably was at MLN and probably scored a couple in the games as well. So the good thing about him was, I think over the years he's matured. In fact, Gaffer agreed. The conversations he's had with him in the last 6 months show the level of maturity that he's got to, where in that first year, when he's every time I fell out of him, it was because we lost. Whenever we lost, it would always be a rupture because he hated losing, and he always wanted to be the best. And to be fair, I look at some of the things he's done. He demanded the best from some of the youth team players, and he's helped their careers as well. When you look back on it, he has been a good influence, even at his darkest moments. He's been a good influence on others.
Gaffer, what about yourself in terms of
My connection.
any favourite run-ins?
I got to be honest. We had we writ the contract on a boomerang. How many times did we put you on contract and take you off it? Twice?
No, I think more than that, to be fair.
Was it more than, honestly? I remember it's just like, listen, for me, you were the best pace player. You're the best pace player to come through the programme. And we've had some proper players, Sorbs. I'm talking proper players. Your journey, for me, if I'm a pace player listening to this, your journey epitomises why you can reach to the levels you're reaching. You're an individual that, no disrespect, you come from Barking, and I'm not being disrespectful to Barking, but you come from an area where football's rife, football's life. You then travel across town to get into the club. You do your sports and education programme. Let's be honest, your educational side was hit and miss. I had more conversations with the teachers about you and trying to get you through your courses than anyone. But you're fully fledged plumber, I think it is, or bricklayer.
Bricklayer. Yeah, bricklayer.
Remember, you come in when I built a wall. All I can just envisage the wall like this. It's all over the gap.
That was one of my first conversations. First conversation with Saul was at training. He was like, "I'll build you a barbecue." Like, what do you mean? He's like, "I'm a bricklayer, isn't it?" And Bradley Satch was probably 5 yards away from him, going, "No, he is a bricklayer." You know?
Yeah. It's brilliant. And then
mate, if it doesn't work out at Huddersfield, you got something to fall back on.
Yeah, you'll be doing conservatory barking. Brilliant. If you done your sports course with the club, you're a fully fledged. What level? Level 2, level 3 PT?
Yeah, level 3.
Level 3 PT, mate. So I got to be honest. You're 6 years spent at the club. You've not just come out as a Huddersfield player. You've come out as for me, I think you've learned loads. We had a conversation this summer about potentially playing you in a new role, and you rolled your eyes. And you know what I wanted to do to you then? I thought, I wanted, because you don't understand that sort of level of unprofessionalism that when you go into Huddersfield, me and Cams, with the chairman, with Charlie, we're setting people up. So when we send you to clubs, whether that's a Billy Man, whether that's you, whether that's Pelly, whether that's Ben Goodley, we're sending you there with a background and an understanding of how to conduct yourself. So I'm telling you now, you're doing work before work, right?
Yeah.
You're doing your work before work. You're conducting and saying hello, coach, hello, gaffer, every morning at Huddersfield now. And that's what Cams has done to you in terms of your development on the academy side is second to none. But what he's done to you as a caring manager, as a friend, as a mentor, as the father figure, is astronomical. It's astronomical about what he's done for you, pal. So when I say you had a boomerang contract, we needed to do that to give you a kick up the bum. Because I'm not being funny, you needed to earn that contract. And you know what? I had one phone call with the chairman, and I'm probably skipping the questions, but Oxford City on the Astro. Your mate, unfortunately, Bradley Sack, had to work that day, who was the under-19 skipper, right?
Yeah.
Your gaffer, Cameron Mawer, handed you that armband. I went there and watched the game, and you single-handedly ran that team. And I'm talking, you led them like an unbelievable leader. And we've done stuff now as a group, and Champ's been involved, Cam's been involved in it with regards to the mentoring, yeah, with Rob Blackburn. And people say about leadership. You as a leader, you're a leader. Remember what you shouted across with 5 minutes to go when we went 1-0 up against Aldershot?
Yeah.
5-4-1. These are all things that you've learned being as a PACE student, coming through BW PACE Academy, pal. And I'm talking Niad, Nick, all the teachers have had an influence in you. The chairman, more than anyone, has had an influence in you. Loretta, the first team players. You look at Champ, I love that you and Champ do. It's fantastic. He's a mentor. Woody is a mentor. It's more than just you having a progression through on the football field. It's past that. What you've achieved as an individual with everyone putting all their ingredients into you has made you a fully rounded person now. Not just a player, as an individual. I'll pick the phone up to you, Sorba. And when you're down here, I want you to come to the club because I see you more than just a player of Boreham Football Club. I see you as a proper individual now, pal. I really, really do. And I think your journey through, you didn't come in at the elite level. You started out and you had to work at your craft. You then went in the elite, got dipped out, went back in the elite, then got some consistency. And you led your team in your final game camps prior to getting the pro deal at Oxford City. Led your team to go and win a national cup. And I think I'm so proud of you, mate. So proud of you. I think you're the nuts. And what everyone's achieved to get you to this stage, and I mean there's a lot of people that can take a lot, because for me it was amazing. It was amazing. What would you say though, Sorba, would you say would be a big thing of why would you come to BWPS Academy?
I'd say it's the pathway speaks for itself. You look at the players that have done it and now put me in that as well. Like the players that have come here thinking, I'm not going to be, I want to be at a pro level when they're 16. I want to be at Arsenal. I want to be at Chelsea. And it's like, now everyone's starting to see, and it's that there's a way through non-league to reach the top level. And it's like, you look at like people who now come through the PACE scheme, and it's like, don't think because in your first year, you're not in the elite, you think it's over. Because that's just you now. You're looking at the elites, you know where you have to be. And it's one of the ones where you just got to work, you got to graft. And then it's when you hit your second year, that's when, as soon as you get in the elites, it's about staying in the elites. It's about staying in the team. Once you do that, like, you got to remember, like, don't think that once you're in the elites, there's not a first team. Like, it's not that you're going to play, you're going to play first team. You work hard, you graft, you catch the gaffer's attention, you will get a chance. But it's all about that patience. I think with most of the boys now, even when I did the coaching, it was the patience that weren't there, that's not there at the moment for them. And it wasn't there for me. I wanted everything now instead of, you know what, it will come in time. I wanted everything now. I wanted to be in the elites now. I wanted to be in the first team now. Whereas then it made me realize, as years went on, it made me realize the path that I went was the right way to do it. And it was like the year when I made my debut at Maidenhead, played Gates and all that. I remember that season. I remember watching the first team, looking at people like AJ, looking at Bruno, and I'm like, back then I was like, I'm better than AJ, 100%. I'm better than AJ. I should be playing left wing. I should be playing that. But back then, the maturity wasn't there for myself. It wasn't there. The confidence was there. But to play from the academy football, and then I remember playing at Maidenhead, and I tried to play up against, I can't remember who the fullback was at the time, and I tried to run at him like I'm running at a 16-year-old right back in the academy. And he just literally just moved me out of the way.
Rene Steer, wasn't it? Remy come in for the two.
And it was like, he moved me out of the way. And it was like, from that moment, I knew, I'm not ready.
So just go on to that then, because like your second year, I've got a few of the like highlights of you there. You said obviously first bit, obviously bit, maybe a little bit in and out, wanting things a bit too early, too soon, like a bit of a learning curve. And then second year, like obviously it was a big year for you in terms of progression, finishing off, obviously coming on at Wembley in the National League playoff final. So that was your appearance at Wembley at the end of your second full year. But some of the other highlights I've got down here, look, represents England college level. That was in your second year, goes on to win under 19 National League regional section, April 2017. So obviously once you've got the momentum and you're in there, so the academy, in terms of the year for your academy and your development through that, was just only going one way. And then obviously you've touched on then making your first team debut in your third year against Maidenhead. But talk about the difference, obviously your confidence in terms of academy level, you're taking on players your own age and beating them up week after week. What was the transition like? Bang, like you're in men's football, you're dealing with players that maybe more physicality, maybe a lot more fast-paced football, a lot more stop-start. How did you adjust to that?
I think at the time, I remember Jason Goodliff always, in training, he used to always put me on the right wing. And also, I remember having a conversation with him, like, you know, I'm a left winger. He goes, no, trust me, for your development, I'm going to put you up against Femi. And I remember every time in training, I used to try and run Femi, and it just never used to work. And then it kind of I used to always, because back then I used to always back my pace. So I used to always try and kick it past Femi, and everyone knows now you can't kick it past Femi. I think now, possibly if I tried it, I think I'll probably get past him maybe once or twice. But it was, I think from that, me playing up against Femi in them training sessions, it made me realise how much work I've got to do and how I've got to now change my game. Like, yes, there's games where I'll come up against a fullback where I'll get past him with my pace, but it's like now being able to adjust my game, change my game at times, sometimes come inside, sometimes go line, like mix it up. And I think as it went on, as I trained more with the first team, speaking to people like Woody, speaking to people like Sam Shakesy, that was in my position, it was like they helped me massively. And it was then physically I started to get there. Mentally, I was slowly getting there. I'm not the brightest person, but I was getting there. And then I think as it went on, games went on, I felt like I got more confident, more stronger. And then mentally, I felt like now I know how to deal with different types of right backs at the time, you know?
Yes, mate. Yeah, and like one of the points you made earlier on, which I think is massive, like I'd never really thought about it, was when you were saying about, you know, frustration when you're young of wanting things now. Like I think that's a massive thing for all young players now, is it's like a now culture. It's like they see mates at pro clubs or living a lifestyle, whatever it is, Instagram, like you want stuff now. Like you haven't got the time to put in the graft and put in the yards that it needs. And people want the top lifestyle, top whatever, top clubs, top contracts, whatever it is at the youngest age without the work and the sacrifice and dedication, all that sort of stuff. So it sounds like obviously when you got to a point when they were both at the same level, when you're like desire to have what you wanted, match the work rate and effort and everything that you were putting in behind the scenes, you touched on then little things like talking to senior players might sound like a small thing, but you obviously showed that you were willing to improve by doing all those things, that you actually cared about it and you didn't just want it. So although, like you said, you want the things immediate, you still showed that growing through the Pace Academy, like, you know, second year, going on to your third year, then being in around the first environment, you wouldn't stay behind, talk to players, find out or watch or learn off players if you didn't really, really want it. So that's obviously a massive thing for me, because I obviously saw you from coming into the club, you know, the last 4 seasons, and the improvement year on year. I'll be like the first time, you know, you're training with us, everything else, but then the end of that year, so obviously finishing the playoff final, you came on, obviously made an appearance, but obviously ended in disappointment for us. But that summer, I remember coming back for the next pre-season, and I'm not just saying it, but like the improvement in you as a player over the summer, I don't know what you were doing, whether you were just playing football day in, day out, and it was a natural thing, or whether you were grafting, was massive. And I remember the next pre-season going like, you look like a different player. But like, was that Was that graft? Was that like, did you work loads in the summer? Was it just like a natural thing? Because obviously age and things start to click in players. Was it just a natural thing?
I think once, obviously, playing at Wembley and that season, it was like I tasted it. And it was like, yeah, now I want more of them moments. I want to play at Wembley again, but instead of this time coming on at the 80th minute, I want to be walking out right at the beginning and being the starting team. So I think during that off season, it was all about now coming back a different player, coming back quicker, come back stronger, mentally stronger. And it was like, now I knew that after that, then obviously you see people like when Bruno went, it was like, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to step up to be the main guy for the team. And it was like, in the off season, I worked hard, done a lot of running, a lot of power league sessions, like them little things. Like boys now obviously go power league, they do like them little things. They help them little five-a-side games, like against your mates who are at in academy level. I mean, you test each other. You get, and it's just one of the ones where, like I said, that the fact that obviously I tasted it, it was like I want more. Then I started to become more greedy. I'm like, nah, I want more moments like that. Yeah. I think that going into the season with that mentality just made me strive on even more.
So then skipping on to, so obviously that's at the end of your second year, going into your third year. Obviously third year is another like big year for you in terms of progression. I've got, again, a few of the highlights down here. Going on to win the Under-19 National League regional section in that year. Captain in the Under-19s in the Champion of Champions, Under-19 National League final, and obviously playing a starring role in that. Cam, have you got, in terms of a highlight, in terms of Sorba in the academy setup, that's got to be it, isn't it, for you? Or have you got a particular memory that stands out as like a highlight in his time during that whole 3 years?
Yeah, there's quite a few. So I remember the first sort of time he come to my eyes, which was we played Whitmore in probably a Cat 2 game. I remember it because he kept sending me the pictures of himself and myself after the game. For some reason, he kept sending it to me, but he just kept making an impression on me. And then we played. There was West Ham away. We played on a real tiny pitch, and again it was the second elite side, the Boreham Blues, and again shows what a good squad that is because he ran the show again. I remember him thinking the keeper in the last minute, and it was that's the first time I went, wow, he's got a chance. He's got a chance. Then, like I said, rolling on to that game in the Championship at Oxford, he was sensational. He was sensational. He'd done everything you'd asked of him, everything you wanted him in the 3 years sort of come to fruition. But for him, there's so many moments. His reserve debut, I remember I brought him into the reserve side. It was a big group then, and a lot of them gone on to play at a good level. It was a lot of big characters. And I remember I took him off after about 70 minutes and they all clapped and he went, they know he's a good player, because it was a hard group to get into the league and it was a bit different than what it is now. It had real men in it. Not that we have it now, but it was a slightly different sort of generation. And he's just peaked at every opportunity. He just grasped it. But so like I said, that third year, he just took his opportunity. There's no better chance when you're the first team manager just there watching at the end of your third year to go and say, hang on a minute, Gaffer, I want to come back pre-season. I want to be part of your first team. I think that was a statement to the Gaffer. I think that was a statement from him. Again, showing his son's maturity, but he echoes everything that we're about. So has his journey been like that? No, it definitely hasn't. His journey's been like that, but he's picked himself up, and that's what it's about finding people that have maybe been in academies and not had it their own way and find it difficult to come and accept the football environment, because it is slightly different. And I think it took him a little while to do it, but he's always wanted to listen. He's always been willing to accept that he's not been perfect, and then he'll improve and he'll learn from it. And that's why I feel like he'll go on further, because he will listen, he will learn, and he will put it into practice. But for me, I always say it's an inspirational story to every single person who's watching this that goes, I've been at a club, it didn't work out for me. Can I make it? Well, proof's in the pudding with Sorba.
100%.
So that's for me.
I think it's always good to know the background, because like you said, his journey not been 100% smooth all the way, but from the outside, everyone else would think, yeah, as like, oh, he's joined, he's gone clean, like a clean run straight through. But it's good to show. And Sorbs, obviously, you touched on a few of the things that challenging times. You've had ups and downs, fallouts with Gaffer, fallouts with Cam, fallouts with teammates. moments of being like impatient, all this sort of stuff. These are all normal things, but like the main thing of all through that is obviously you've obviously persevered and you didn't just quit at the first sign or say, oh, this isn't for me and never come back. You've learned each time and like obviously grown each time and found yourself where you are. So just going to try and sum up, because obviously we don't want to go on too long, but Sorbs, have you got a memory, like a one memory during your time, either player, as a person, as experience, whatever it is, as like a highlight of your time in the academy setup or at Boreham Wood in general?
Oof. I would say winning all them national cups. I think for me, that was the highlight. So I think if there's ever a college Hall of Fame, I think I should be involved, because I feel like
mate. Because obviously, listen, England represent your country no matter what it is. Obviously, you represent your country at that college level. What was that like as an experience? Was that decent?
Yeah, that was different. I feel like playing, like you go there.
Can you tell them about the night before the trials?
In the chairman's.
Well, I know this one.
Now, basically, because we had to leave like very, very early in the morning for obviously the trials. So Cam, Gaffer, and the chairman decided to put me and Brad in a haunted house to stay for the night. Yeah. So we literally could not sleep. Like there was 100% someone in the house with us. Like there was someone in the house, because it was like there was noises coming from all over the house.
It's probably something. You probably built a barbecue for someone that were back to get their money back. Trying to knock the door down.
I got a phone call.
Oh, it was mad. You had Billy knocking on the door at like 11 o'clock at night, like banging on the door like he was going to rob the house. So we just hid behind the sofa.
I got a phone call about 10 o'clock. I was sitting on the sofa. I was trying to eat an Indian. So I've got all an Indian. I'm really excited. Me and the wife are sitting there about to eat. I've got a phone call from Sorba or Bradley. Cam, we can't stay here. We can't stay here. I'm like, what? It was like, it's haunted. It's haunted. I was like, boys, you're fine. You're fine. My wife's like, Cam, you've got to go and pick them up. They're scared. You can't leave them there. They're scared. Like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Character building, wasn't it? We put a load of monitors around us like, made you the person you are now, so. I'll ask you one question. What advice would you give a 16, 17-year-old Sorba Thomas?
Watch that mouth, mate. It'll get you in trouble. Patience. That's the word. Like every interview I did for the pay scheme, everything like that, I'll say the most important word to tell all these boys is be patient. Because your time, if you work hard and you graft, not just on the pitch but in the classroom, your chance will come. And when it comes, you got to take it with both hands.
Nice, mate. Nice.
Well done,
wrap up. That's a perfect place to wrap up. I think we'll wrap it up, but before we go, there's a challenge. Sorba, you won't know about this, so I'll explain the rules clearly, mate, because this could take a while for you to work it out. Right. The first episode we did last week, there was a challenge at the end of it called, like word association. So but we do it with footballers. So it's footballer word association. So as an example, if I said Harry Kane, you would have to give me a footballer whose first name begins with a K. Do you understand? So K as in, because K is the first letter of his surname. You would have to say, so it'd be Kevin Kilban or whatever. That was the example we used last week. So it would be first name starts with the letter of the, yeah? Are you with me, Sorbs, or not?
You know what it is? I'm there, but we need
we'll do a practice. So obviously I'm there. So it will start, because I've got the order on my screen, as Gaffer, then to Sorba, then to Cam. Okay, that's the order. So if Gaffer started off with Harry Kane, you would have to say a footballer whose first name begins with a K. It could be whatever. Okay. Oh. Then obviously then Cam, then back to Gaffer, then you, then back, blah blah blah. So we'll do a practice just to get you going. But when it's for real, you'll have, if it's any longer than 5 seconds that you haven't answered,
that's
you're
long.
out. You think that's long?
That's long.
I'll take 5 seconds. I could be.
I think five. No, honestly, five.
5
Still,
seconds. 5 seconds.
last one we did, honestly, I didn't get more than 2 or 3. So we'll see 5 seconds, see how it goes. So start off, do a practice run. So Gaffer first.
Alan Shearer.
Oh God.
S.
Scott
I'm trying to
Sinclair.
think of- Wait, does the first name have to give me with an S or the surname?
Yes,
The first
first.
name.
The first.
Oh, Sorba Thomas.
There you go.
You ain't got
That
yourself.
can't be allowed. You can't use your own
You
name.
can't use yourself, geezer. Because I'll just say Adam Zigangado and go, he played for BW Page back in 2018.
The only rule is, you got a nut. It can be any footballer, but
Well,
you've
to
got
be
a
fair,
nut.
they'll know him now, won't they? Saul Thomas, you're the pin-up boy.
So
That's the right. So go again, Sorbs, on S, and then can follow it on, and we'll just see how long you can go. But only practice for now. Go, Sorbs.
What? So I say a name.
Surely practice, champ.
Yeah, just for now. Yeah, go on, Sorbs. So
Cool. Cristiano Ronaldo.
okay, Cam.
Ray Houghton.
Ray Houghton. Harry Kane.
Jam?
Nice, you Sorbs.
Oh, are you not playing? Oh, so this is what I mean. I didn't know.
It's all right. It's all right. Carry on from K then, Sorbs. From K.
Robbie Keane.
No.
First name has to begin with K. I told you.
Hey, thank God you got a 3.5-year deal, Sorbs. All I can say.
Hey. Who begins with Con Aguero?
Kun. Oh, he's gone for Kun. Love it.
Alan Shearer.
Oh, I love it.
Scott Sinclair.
Oh,
Sergio Aguero.
He's a
it's the
hero.
same person.
He's a hero.
2 different first names to the same person. It's unbelievable.
No, we got to get this going then. We got to get this going.
Okay, practice run's done. This time, like literally, as soon as someone finishes saying the name, I'm starting the clock. So it's 5 seconds. If it's longer than 5, you're out, and then it's a head-to-head.
Oh, head to head. I like that.
And then the winner, obviously, the winner each week gets through, and then there'll be like a Champions of Champions game at the end of it all, right? So
nice.
we'll
I've got
start.
to be honest with you, Cameron Moyer is nailed on for this. Because
No,
he's
Ray Houghton.
someone's going to kill me. He's going to come out the same role.
I don't even know who Ray Houghton is.
You're right, this is it.
Liverpool.
Boys, no more practice, nothing. 5 seconds, I'm going to be brutal, okay? So Gaffer starts, then Sorba, then Cam. Whenever you're ready, Gaffer, you start us off, and I'm on the timer.
Martin Keown.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Kevin Davis.
David
Oh,
Batty.
what did you
I
say?
said it.
He said
I said
Kevin
Kevin
Davis.
Davis.
Okay, Kevin David. Carry on, Cam.
David Batty.
Billy Knott.
K.
Okay.
K.
Con Aguero.
Alan Smith.
Sammy Hippier.
You're out, Sorbs. Done. Done.
Harry Kedwell. Harry Kedwell, is it?
Harry Kuehl.
Oh, I could have said Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire. Harry Kevin
Kilban.
You've got so
Kevin
many.
Lisby.
Oh,
This is what I mean, Cam. You're good, Cam. You're good, Cam. Cam's is good.
Head to head, Gaffer and Cams. This is it for the winner.
I'm a bit nervous though. You know, this is not my strong
We'll mix it up. So Cams, you start it off this time. Gaffer straight in. Okay, 5 seconds each time. Whenever you're ready.
Zinedine Zidane.
It's harsh, but it's, oh dear.
Who's the Man City geezer? Who's the Man City geezer? Is he one? Is he Z, the left back?
Zinchenko.
Yeah, is he? No, but it's not his first name, though, is it?
I can't
No.
get any
It's
first
like
name.
It's not his first name, no.
Damn, that's horrible, by the way.
Cam, that's
Absolute game ender.
yeah, outstanding. I should have done that for you.
Sorry.
Zinedine Zidane.
That's
Fellas,
powerful.
it's been a pleasure. We'll wrap it up. Because we've probably gone way over. But fellas, thank you very much. Sorbs, the main man, the wonder kid himself. Thanks for joining us, mate. It's been a pleasure charting your success, your rise, your journey. Hopefully, mate, this is the start of obviously much more to come from you and not just the end. So, mate, cheers for joining us. Gaffer Cam, been a pleasure to have your insight. And all the best. We'll catch up with you all soon.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for watching Champs Corner. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow our BW Pace Academy and First Team Instagram page.